Hi, Boys for City Corner. We'll be talking about a Peace Fest coming to the St. Louis area and 7 steps to starting a successful business. Come on back. Hi, I'm Robin Boyce. I'm so glad you could join us for this episode of City Corner. We've got a lot of great information that's coming up here for the next half hour or so. In the studios with me right now is Mr. Arthur Milton Porter III. He's a motivational speaker, a coach, an individual who has been a successful entrepreneur for several years, and I would have to say responsible for me going back to school and getting my MBA. I really do appreciate it because it's helped me understand business a lot, a whole lot better. Not any promotions on jobs or anything like that. That's more money, which is what folks usually go back and get those MBAs for. But your business is called Kingdom Associates, and
Yes.
I really enjoyed and met you through the Grace Hill Women's Business Center,
Right.
where I had an opportunity to really learn more about putting together a business plan, how to organize my business, and outline what it is that I want to do for other businesses. And you really took us by the hand and really showed us well. And I really do thank you for that. So you've parlayed from that to Kingdom Associates, which you were doing already, but you've taken it to the 21st century. Tell us more about what you're doing.
Yeah, well, Robin, I've always had a passion for entrepreneurship and helping people to start businesses and really take the dreams and visions they have and bring them to life. And so with the class, I was able to affect people that were in the class. Well, I decided to have a better reach, I would write a book. So I wrote a book called The 7 Steps to Starting a Successful Business,
Right.
which would help people to kind of have everything they need to do in a way that they could, at their own pace, work through those 7 steps. Out of that, as technology changed, I found that I could even broaden my reach even more by using some of the advances in technology. So for example, webinars. I do a lot of online classes now. And so now it gives the person who wants to start a business more flexibility, because often that person may have a job where they can't have the freedom to go and take a class. They may not be able to block out a large period of time for a class. But with technology today, with my website in particular, you're able to go in and take classes when you want them. It's a lot more affordable because you're not taking the whole class, you're just taking it as you need it. And so I've taken the book, 7 Steps to Start a Successful Small Business, and I've taken each part of those and made it a module that they can learn, as well as I also have modules on there for CEO development. One of the things I found is, as I've experienced growing other companies, is that you have to first grow the CEO. So I'm a John Maxwell certified teacher, trainer, speaker, and with that I've learned how to develop CEOs. And so there's a whole course that I do on how to develop the CEO first and then grow the business.
So because you have people who come to you to get consultation from you about getting their business started. So you really start with that person first.
Right, start with the person first. And I have people from all various positions. I have some people that are straight startups. And so again, I help them to kind of formalize the idea they have. Is it a good business idea? A lot of people have great ideas, but they may not be a good business idea. Then once we find out if it's a good business idea, how we can monetize that, how we can put that in a format that people will support. But for people who are already in business, I often help them to break through. A lot of times you get stuck in business. You reach a certain level and you feel stuck. And again, that's where often it's the CEO development. It's not that the business is stuck, the CEO is stuck. And so as I teach the CEO how to be a better leader and how to expand themselves, the business will grow as well. So as a matter of fact, I just started a group of people that I'm coaching personally through the technology, of people that are in, some are startups, some are people that are in business. They actually have some pastors as well who want to grow their churches or organizations, so even for nonprofits. And so again, by approaching a webinar on how to grow the CEO, coupled with some business skills as well. We also do webinars on sales, on how to brand yourself, marketing, financials, and I often bring guest speakers in to talk to them through this webinar platform, which again allows them to either be present, they can watch it later on, and so it makes it a lot more flexible and easier for people to take classes.
What are some of the difficult things that you find in dealing with an individual one-on-one that you can't quite get them to understand where they need to take their business or their idea? What are some of the stumbling blocks that you see happening in people sometimes?
Well, unfortunately, a lot of people have self-limiting beliefs. So they will,
Like, for example,
well, they'll say, that I'm too old or I'm too young to
Okay.
do this business. Or they'll say that, that they're not ready yet. And a lot of the time it's procrastination, trying to get ready, when they don't realize that once you start the process, things will start to fall in place. So a lot of the motivation part is just getting them to start. Once you get started, that's why I wrote the book, 7 Steps to Start, not 7 Steps to Think About It,
Right.
but 7 steps to actually start.
Just do it.
Because it's just almost like pushing them off the
Yes.
edge or pushing them off of a diving board. Once they start, the momentum will take them forward. So a lot of the coaching that I do is really not teaching them anything more than just kind of bring out what's already inside of them and helping them to understand they have everything they need already. They just need to now implement all the plans and visions that they have.
what are some of the first steps that a person should take when they're getting ready to start?
Okay. Well, naturally, everybody here's the first step. You need to write a business plan. I think before you even do the business plan, you need to do a personal entrepreneurial plan. What's your personal goal before in entrepreneurship? Is this something you want to do to supplement your income?
Okay.
A lot of times people need to, and I believe everybody needs to increase the number of revenue streams that they have. So again, at various stages, you might want to just increase your revenue streams. You may want to make this your primary source of income. So again, what's your personal plan for entrepreneurship? Then we go into the business plan. And often that's the intimidating part because people have seen the business plan as this big, large document. Well, the way I've broken up into modules, you just break it down into small pieces. You watch the video, you take the course, you answer some questions, and those questions are actually writing the plan. Okay. So as you're answering the questions, you're actually putting together your plan. So at the end, you bring it all together, and you have a completed business plan.
So it's not like this mysterious
Right.
big thing that you have to do because
Yeah.
it scared us to death when we had to put ours
if you can take
together.
the
It was
mystery out
like,
of doing
oh
the
my
business
God,
plan, and we realize also the business plan, again, is just the start of it. And I tell people, entrepreneurship is a lifelong journey of personal development. When, even with some of the CEOs I run in contact with, they're doing very well, very successful CEOs in corporate America. They're constantly training themselves, constantly getting self-improvement. And I think that the entrepreneur that's out there by himself often thinks he has to just go with what he has already, not realizing that there are all kinds of sources that can help you to perfect that idea.
So the idea there is that you can continuously learn?
Continuously learn, continuously better yourself and your business. And then once you get to a certain point where you're at a certain CEO level, then the charge becomes to train those underneath you. Because for you to be able to grow your business, you have to have people underneath you with some of the same skill sets that you have. So I often ask people, would you rather be the leader of a group of followers or the leader of a group of leaders?
Okay.
And so if you have a group of leaders that are working for you, your growth is exponential because now you've got people that you can delegate to that can really take over. So often in my training, I'll start off with the CEO, but then we'll eventually end up working with their management, and in some cases, just everybody in the company. They need one of them trained on leadership skills.
And moving forward, what are some of the other steps that an entrepreneur needs to look at when they're getting ready to get a business going?
Getting a marketing plan together. Again, we have a lot of myths about things such as PR, such as financials. So again, getting them to understand that they don't have to know it all.
Right.
There are experts out there that can help them. And I think that if you look at you need an accountant, you need an attorney. And again, and you need to start to build that team around you. I call it your external team. They're not necessarily in your business,
right,
but you're going to need them to be successful. And one of the things that's really key, Robin, is networking and building relationships. And if you network and build relationships, those people that you need will be in your circle, as opposed to you waiting until you actually have an issue. You can just begin to develop the type of people around you that can help you in those areas.
Do entrepreneurs or CEOs need mentors?
Yes, matter of fact, most successful CEOs that I know of large corporations will have coaches. And so again, as God blessed me to be in meetings and to be in situations where I was seeing how corporate CEOs were successful, I say, well, how can I take that back and take it to the small business? And so that's part of, again, the passion for starting the website was that I would be able to help small businesses have the same resources that these large CEOs had. So again, the resources on leadership, coaching. Again, I personally have coached a lot of people through those steps of becoming a better CEO, as well as also growing their business.
So it sounds like also, well, what you do, you can help a lot of churches out that are wanting to grow their congregations, and really, and nonprofit organizations for that matter, who need funding and need to understand how to really coach their boards.
Right. See, one of the things, again, it goes back to networking, relationship building. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. And so a lot of the CEO development is getting you to become a person of influence, a person that people like, a person that can easily sell their mission, their goal, their story. So, example, with a pastor, if he's able to sell that mission, not only to his church, but become a person of influence in the community that he's trying to affect. So at that point, the community sees his church as a resource, and again, it helps to not only grow the ministry in size, which is, you know, a side part of it, but also just grow it in its impact, the way it's able to impact that community. Because there are a lot of churches that have a lot of great missions, but you really want to expand that impact beyond the four walls.
There was a pastor many years ago that said to me that, and when I was living in Los Angeles, that he did not really, he was taught to be a preacher. He was not to be taught to be a business person, but that he found himself in the middle of being a businessman with this church and really trying to understand how to take care of keeping the lights on. You know, they had to pay different people to do X, Y, Z, whatever. And it was something that he really needed to learn. And a good friend of his, T.D. Jakes, really got that whole momentum going with reference to having a conference on teaching pastors how to run their churches as businesses, because that's essentially what they are.
As well as also in the pews, there are people that have business ideas and visions, and you know, and you want to help them have an outlet to how to actually put that into actually start the businesses. So, you know, there's a spiritual component of what God's going to do, but then there's also that natural component of what you have to do. And so I like to provide that natural part. You know, these are the 7 steps you have to take. These are the people you need to meet. So if you pair the super that God's going to do with the natural, you end up with supernatural.
It's so important not to just take that card at a networking seminar. You got to follow up and get to know that person and set up luncheons and sit down with them and build relationships with
one of the things I teach is that just like you put together the business plan, there's also a thing called a networking plan, where you need to, and relationship plan, where you need to say, okay, these are the people, the key people. What is my plan for this year to build a better relationship with them? Because again, often people wait to go to the bank when they need the loan. At that point,
it's too late. Really?
You go to the bank when you first start your business, so they become a part of what you're doing. So they know about you. They know about what your dreams, your aspirations are. They see you start to achieve those things. So when it's time to go for a loan, they feel a lot more comfortable with you. If you're dealing with the government, your council people, you want them involved from the very beginning. So you want these to be relationships that you've built over time, that it makes it easier for them to actually be a part of what you're doing.
And that's why people have become very successful, not only here in the St. Louis area. This is a good place to start a new business, St. Louis, Missouri?
It's an excellent place to start. Because again, what I'm finding, actually my passion, my belief is everybody, everywhere needs to start a business. Even if you're working for somebody, you want to have more streams of income. I work with a lot of people that are executives, they have a great career, but they realize that at some point they're going to retire. And they want to, again, they would rather retire with the business that they've been setting up over years, as opposed to retire and then try to start a business.
I want to thank you so much, Arthur, for coming in and talking with us. I got to have you back on. We can go through a step-by-step situation with an entrepreneur you've worked with or working with, and you can bring that individual on. We've got the information up on the board where people can reach you.
Yes.
And I really thank you so much for coming in and talking with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll be talking with you real soon.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Robin Boyce, and we will be back with more information on a Peace Fest coming to St. Louis.
Hi, my name's CJ. A few years ago, my father became seriously ill. I did what I could do before he passed, but it took its toll. I lost my job, my house. I'm getting back on my feet, but I don't know when there'll be food on the table. How'd I do, CJ?
We could be twins.
Well, cousins, maybe.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hi, I'm Robin Boyce, and we're back here for City Corner. In the studios with me, I mean, the man goes without introduction, my son, James Clark, who's Vice President of Outreach for a Better Family Life. Thank you, James, for coming in and talking with
Thanks
us
for having
again, always continuing to give us these updates about what's going on in the St. Louis community, because the struggle continues. It's a continuous situation. How are things going at this time with the Pulpits to Porches program, going out in the community, boots on the ground? How's that going right now?
Robin, it is coming better. It is actually going better than we anticipated. The church participation and the participation of neighborhood churches, we think is very key, because the church is the #1 populated institution in our more challenged neighborhoods. So right now, we have 45 churches that are doing active outreach in the neighborhood in which the church is located. One of the new thrusts that we're looking to infuse into the Pulpit to Porches program is having churches serve as violence and conflict de-escalation centers, where we want to open up the church maybe on a Wednesday from 5 to 7. And if you know of a conflict that's about to escalate to the point of gun violence, you can come into the church. We will have trained staff there who will take the information on both sides of the conflict. We'll need contact information on both sides, and then we will begin to mediate the conflict. We recently had all of our outreach specialists trained in conflict mediation. You know, we think that we've got to get more innovative and more creative, and we've got to begin to realign neighborhoods with the church being the centerpiece once again. We think that as we can get more church involved and infuse social service organizations into the families through the church, that'll give us great strides towards real neighborhood stabilization, and it will be able to be sustained. Having the church play a larger role in our more challenged neighborhoods, that presence will give us something that we can then build on.
There are also some other things that could really help you out. You've been getting calls from all over the country to bring this program to fruition, but back here in St. Louis, where you're most passionate about and dedicated to, you need dollars to get at least 50 more folks on the streets.
Robin, I believe that we have demonstrated through the Neighborhood Alliance model that neighborhood saturation with resources and direct neighborhood engagement, household assessments, door-to-door efforts can bring about neighborhood change. We have right now 6 outreach workers that are active in 6 St. Louis City neighborhoods and 4 St. Louis County neighborhoods. And the response from the citizens is just tremendous. We see crime going down in those targeted neighborhoods. So we see this new Neighborhood Alliance model and the outreach specialists as the tip of the spear. I've gotten calls from Boston. Boston is saying, Mr. Clark, can you please lay it out for us how the Neighborhood Alliance model works, how the Pulpit to Porches program works, and they're interested in the amnesty program as well.
Very good.
So we believe that St. Louis has to really begin to do things differently. We cannot continue to allocate resources for great programs, well-intended programs. But when you look at the social climate and the neighborhood and the depth of the dysfunction, we need to do different programs now. We cannot continue to do what we have done in the past and expect this thing to fix itself.
Now, I hear a lot of people talking back and forth about we needing more jobs in the community, we needing more businesses in the community. Is that enough?
Well, Robin, jobs are important. Economic development is important, but the depth of the dysfunction, you can put a new business on every corner, and it won't squash the dysfunction. You can offer every person a job, and a large percentage of them won't last a week.
And the reasons are the need for socialization and psychological and just social service help.
The social service needs go far beyond jobs now. 20 years ago, it was jobs. 15 years ago, it was jobs. Today, the human capital has fallen to such a state that jobs alone won't do it. We need drug treatment.
Okay.
We need psychological evaluation. We need crisis intervention. We need GED and literacy training. We need parenting skills. So the depth of the dysfunction is great. Robin, we just had, and this is the tip of the iceberg, we just had a 13-year-old girl walk into a business and shoot and critically injure 2 people. 13-year-old girl. That is an indicator as to the direction that the wind is blowing. That 13-year-old girl was not an isolated incident. There are more 13-year-olds whose mentality has been impacted with this antisocial, with this underdeveloped, unsocialized reality. We have got to do more to be in the neighborhoods and on the front porches and bringing resources into our more challenged neighborhoods.
Because you don't know if you don't go knock on the door.
Yeah, we have spent too much time analyzing this.
A lot of studies have been done.
I am kinned to Washington University. I'm kinned to the United Way. I sit on the mayor's crime commission, and it's the same narrative at each table. You know, we have analyzed this thing, we have studied this thing, we have produced documents, and the documents, a document that Freeman did in 1993, Freeman Bosley Jr. When he was mayor, is the exact same document that's being produced now. Points to the same issues, points to the same neighborhoods, points to the same zip codes, and we've done little to engage the neighborhoods. We've done less to deliver resources into the neighborhoods.
So do you think this was a planned movement in a part of St. Louis for it to fail? Was this planned, or did people just leave and not care anymore? What happened?
You know, Robin, I think that it goes back to people's interests. And I think that for too long, the interests of the citizens in North St. Louis have not been addressed.
Okay.
For far too long.
So they're voiceless. Nobody's listening. There's no leadership then representing North St. Louis then downtown that's going to make a difference at City Hall. I mean,
you know,
what's needed? What needs to happen here?
I think that, you know, the leadership is there. I think that the leadership must begin to view the crisis from a different perspective.
Okay. We've got to change up things. They got to readjust a little bit.
It's like we have good social service programs, but they're not calibrated to deal with the crisis. We have good leaders, but their mentality is to fit into a construct that's outdated.
And it needs to be refurbished then.
We have got to shift this paradigm.
Okay, so it's just a matter now of really bringing people together that are already there, not having to reinvent programs that are already established, but taking this whole new caveat, whether it be just like with the internet, social media, and interchanging those new concepts and ideas into what's already there. Because tradition is always good, the old way has always been very good, but then these new things that are happening that are coming out as a result of what we're seeing here in the St. Louis area and around the country, things have to change. We cannot expect things to get better doing what we're doing. And we've got to get back to the basics. We've got to get back to direct neighborhood engagement. Door to door is the only way. We have enough data that points us to the neighborhoods. Exactly where to go.
And the police have the most progressive model, hotspot policing. Police officers cannot solve this problem.
No.
This is not a police problem. This is a family problem, and it's a neighborhood problem. And we've got to be able to employ outreach specialists who know these neighborhoods, who knows how to communicate with a single mother raising 3 boys, who knows how to go in and talk to a little girl who is looking for a father figure and is being bombarded with adult-age males trying to flirt with her.
Right.
So the depth of the dysfunction is so great. We don't understand it because we're not engaging it. We will write a report. We will do a pie chart. We will come up with nicely bound full-color booklets that describe the problem. But we're not even scratching the surface in our neighborhoods.
No, and that's really the movement. You've got a Peace Fest coming up, Black
Peace
Family Week,
Fest,
31 years?
31 years, and you know,
Wow.
I have been quarterbacking it now since 2000.
Okay.
And so it
Malik
is,
Ahmed has done a tremendous job over there at Better Family Life.
Malik's vision has really mushroomed, and it's timely. You know, they asked Wayne Gretzky, you know, who wasn't the biggest and the fastest and the most skilled hockey player. How did you become such a great player? He said everybody else skated to where the puck was. I skated to where the puck was going. And I think that Malik, in his vision of an organization, Better Family Life, we've got to get back to the basics now. We've got to begin to build and maintain strong families. We've gone too far away from that. You know, back when we were coming up, we had shows like The Brady Bunch.
Right.
That was a family. Father Knows Best. That was a family. My 3 Sons. That was a family. Now we have shows like How to Commit Murder and Get Away with It. We have shows like Lucifer. We have shows like The Empire.
And things have to change.
And so we have got to look at it, and the quickest way to address it is to go into our more challenged neighborhoods
And deal with it.
embrace the families and give them the opportunity to change
And they can do it. And they can do it. Peace Fest, give us some dates. When is this
Peace
happening?
Fest, August 27th,
Okay.
Forest Park Central Fields.
Okay.
Right now we have about 45 softball teams made up of some of the most talented people. We also have an alumni game where Beaumont, Vashon, Lindbergh, Soldan will be playing in a softball tournament. So we'll have stage
performances and everything.
Live entertainment from 11 o'clock on.
All right.
And we'll end at 8.
I really appreciate you coming in and talking with us about it, getting the community ready for a great function that's coming up, and looking at bringing in maybe about 1.9 million you probably need for the program too. It could work for you.
if we can employ 50 outreach workers,
it'll make a difference.
25 case managers, we could change St. Louis.
I thank you so much, and you are changing St. Louis.
Thank
I want
you,
you to know that. I want to thank you for joining us for City Corner. We'll be back with more great information the next time. See you then.